Day 2 of answering your questions about strength and impact training. So from the list of everyone who had a question on yesterday's post, today's question comes from Jessie, who said, I have chronic pain, which is most severe in my knees. So many of the exercises I see are far too painful at the moment. So I don't know where to begin, which means I don't begin at all. Are there any alternatives, and what would you suggest I start with? Okay, let's head over to our head coach and my husband, Andrew.
Okay, so you mentioned you have chronic pain in your knees. We know chronic pain is complex and can be multifactorial. It's really going to be outside the scope of this video to make any diagnoses or absolute statements, but we can talk a little bit about some generalities. So first, we should really briefly talk about strategies for addressing chronic pain. There are lots of different frameworks that you can apply. I like functional cognitive therapy. It addresses the mental and the physical considerations of living with pain. We can post other resources, but really there are 3 aspects to applying FCT. Number 1, making sense of pain and reducing that sense of threat so you don't feel like you're always going to hurt yourself. Number 2, it's going to be some exposure with control, so that means a graded return to activities and trying just to work in some of the movements that you might have developed some fears around. Finally, additional lifestyle changes, just helping with things like sleep and stress, stuff like that. One adage I like is first calm things down, then build them back up. I really like this metaphor from Todd Hargrove. He talks about this idea of reclaiming territory. And essentially, when we experience chronic pain, it's like the map to our body has been erased. It can feel really daunting, but one of the best things we can do is to slowly remap our body by exploring the borders, the edges of where we start to feel pain. So it is helpful to play around with pain a little bit, play around a little bit with discomfort, see how much you can map out without falling off the edge. So for example, if you have pain in your knees, don't avoid using your knees entirely. See if there are any ways you can move your knees that don't hurt, and then start exploring and regaining territory from there. In terms of exercises, you can use hinges. There are lots of beneficial movements you can do that don't involve bending your knees, but I like hinges because what they can do is they can help strengthen your lower back, your posterior chain, your hips and things like that, and they don't need any knee bends, so you can learn to do something called a Romanian deadlift. You don't need anything fancy, just like maybe a bag, load it with some heavy things, you'll be okay. There's going to be a lot of benefits from those, a lot of similar benefits to squats. And then what I would say is find a way to work in some sort of progressive upper body pushing and pulling. Almost all movements can be beneficial here, but make sure you listen to your body. Then over time, start playing with some gentle knee bending. Is there a range of motion or position that doesn't hurt? Get some light movement from there and then see if you can't reclaim some more territory, and then adding in more knee bending options over time, and then you can start worrying about loading them. The most important thing is really just to start with something and build from there, and then see what kind of progress you can make.
There's only so much detail we can get into, so I've put a little bit more below. If you've got a question that you would like answered, please leave it below and like this post, and we'll pick it out of a hat tomorrow morning.